Serena Hayes sat alone at the sidewalk cafe table, her hands clasped tightly in her lap, trying not to cry as she watched other couples enjoy their afternoon. At 32, she'd finally worked up the courage to try dating again after 2 years in a wheelchair. The car accident that had changed her life had also ended her engagement when her fiancé decided he couldn't handle being with someone disabled. She'd spent those 2 years rebuilding herself physically and emotionally, and when Daniel from the online dating site had seemed genuinely interested despite knowing about her wheelchair, she'd allowed herself to hope. They'd agreed to meet at this charming cafe at 2 o'clock. Serena had arrived 15 minutes early, nervous and excited, wearing her favorite beige dress and having spent an hour on her hair and makeup. She'd seen Daniel arrive right on time, watched him scan the outdoor seating area from across the street, and felt her heart lift with anticipation. Then she'd seen the exact moment he spotted her wheelchair. His expression had shifted from interest to something like disappointment or perhaps horror. He'd pulled out his phone, typed something quickly, and her phone had buzzed with a message. "Sorry, something came up. Can't make it. Good luck," just like that. He'd seen her disability and walked away without even the courtesy of a lie told to her face. Serena had ordered tea she didn't want and sat there, trying to decide whether to leave immediately or preserve some dignity by finishing her drink. She felt the familiar burn of rejection, the weight of being reduced to her wheelchair instead of seen as a person. She blinked back tears, determined not to cry in public. That's when the little girl appeared. She couldn't have been more than 3 years old, with blonde pigtails tied with red ribbons and a stuffed unicorn clutched in one small hand. She toddled directly to Serena's table with the fearless curiosity only very young children possess, stopping to stare with wide blue eyes. "Hi," the little girl said solemnly. "Why are you sad?" Serena quickly wiped at her eyes, forcing a smile. "I'm okay, sweetheart. Are you lost? Where's your parent?" "Daddy's right there." The girl pointed to a man in a gray coat who was hurrying toward them, concern on his handsome face. He was perhaps in his late 30s, well-dressed in a way that suggested success, carrying himself with the confidence of someone accustomed to being in control. "Lily, you can't just run up to strangers," he said gently, reaching them. Then his eyes landed on Serena, taking in her tear-stained face and the empty chair across from her, and something in his expression softened. "I'm sorry if my daughter disturbed you. She has a habit of escaping when I'm not looking." "She didn't disturb me. She's lovely." Serena smiled at Lily, who was still studying her with that intense toddler focus. "Why do you have wheels?" Lily asked, pointing at Serena's wheelchair with innocent curiosity rather than judgment. "Lily, that's rude," her father started, but Serena shook her head. "It's okay. I don't mind." She looked at Lily seriously. "I was in an accident and my legs don't work like yours do. So I use this special chair with wheels to help me go places. It's kind of like how your daddy probably drives a car instead of walking everywhere." Lily considered this, then nodded as if it made perfect sense. "Can I sit with you? You look lonely." "Lily, the nice lady probably wants to be alone." "Actually," Serena heard herself say, "I'd love the company, if it's okay with your father." The man looked between Serena and his daughter, seeming to make a decision. "Okay, but just for a few minutes while I grab us coffee." "I'm Adrian, by the way." "Adrian Blackwood." "Serena Hayes," Adrian ordered at the counter while Lily climbed onto the chair across from Serena that Daniel was supposed to have occupied. She set her unicorn on the table carefully. "This is Sparkle," Lily announced. "She's magic. She makes people happy when they're sad. Do you want to hold her?" Serena accepted the worn, stuffed animal, feeling something crack in her chest. "Thank you, Lily. That's very kind." "Daddy says being kind is the most important thing. More important than being rich or smart or anything else." Lily swung her little legs, her red shoes catching the afternoon light. "Were you waiting for someone?" "Is that why you're sad?" "I was. But he decided not to come. That's mean. Daddy says if you make a promise, you have to keep it. Otherwise, people can't trust you." Lily's small face was serious with the weight of this lesson. "The person who didn't come wasn't very nice." "No," Serena agreed quietly. "He wasn't." Adrian returned with coffee and a juice box for Lily. Instead of taking his daughter and leaving, He sat down at the table, seeming to understand that his presence was somehow needed. "I hope you don't mind," he said, "but my daughter has excellent instincts about people, and she clearly thinks you need a friend right now. And honestly, I'm grateful for the chance to sit. Single parenting means I'm always chasing after a tornado in pigtails." Despite everything, Serena laughed. "She seems wonderful." "She is. Exhausting but wonderful." Adrian's expression grew more serious. "And I hope I'm not overstepping, but I saw what happened earlier. The man who looked at you from across the street and then left. I was standing nearby getting Lily ice cream, and I saw his face when he realized you were in a wheelchair. I saw him text and walk away." Serena felt heat flood her cheeks. "You saw that?" "I did. And I was so angry on your behalf that I almost followed him to tell him what an absolute fool he was." Adrian met her eyes directly. "But then Lily escaped and ran to you, and I realized maybe she had the right idea. Sometimes the best response to cruelty is kindness. To show someone that they're valued by actually valuing them, rather than wasting energy on people too shallow to see what's in front of them." "You don't even know me," Serena said, her voice shaking slightly. "I know you were kind to my daughter when she interrupted your afternoon. I know you explained your wheelchair to her with patience instead of anger. I know you accepted her stuffed animal and made her feel helpful instead of intrusive. That tells me more about your character than a dozen dates could reveal." Adrian paused. "And I know what it's like to be judged for circumstances beyond your control. My wife died 3 years ago, and the dating world has been brutal. Women who want a ready-made family until they realize parenting is actually work. Women who see dollar signs when they learn what I do for a living. Women who run when Lily has a tantrum or gets sick or needs attention that interrupts our date." "What do you do?" Serena asked. "I run an investment firm. Nothing too exciting, just making rich people richer, mostly." He smiled self-deprecatingly. "What about you?" "I'm a freelance graphic designer. I work from home mostly, which is convenient given my mobility challenges." They talked for an hour while Lily colored on napkins the cafe staff provided. Adrian asked thoughtful questions about Serena's work, her design aesthetic, her creative process. Serena found herself asking about his daughter, his business, his life as a single father. The conversation flowed easily, naturally, without the awkwardness that had plagued Serena's few attempts at dating since her accident. "Daddy, I'm sleepy," Lily finally announced, climbing into her father's lap and resting her head on his shoulder. "Okay, princess, we should go home for your nap." Adrian looked at Serena with something like regret. "This has been really nice. Thank you for letting us intrude on your afternoon." "You didn't intrude. You saved it." Serena meant it. "Thank you both for your kindness." "Serena," Adrian said carefully, "I know this is forward and please feel free to say no. But would you like to have coffee again sometime? Intentionally, I mean. As an actual plan rather than a chance encounter?" Serena's breath caught. "You want to see me again?" "Very much. If you're interested." Adrian shifted Lily gently. "I'm not promising anything more than coffee and conversation, but I'd like the chance to know you better. You're interesting and kind, and frankly, my daughter clearly adores you already, which is rare. She's usually very cautious with strangers." Serena thought about Daniel, about all the people who'd seen her wheelchair and made assumptions about her worth. Then she looked at Adrian, who'd sat with her for an hour, not despite her disability, but apparently indifferent to it, seeing her as a person rather than a limitation. "I'd like that," she said softly. "Coffee sounds lovely." They exchanged numbers, and Adrian texted her immediately so she'd have his contact information. As they prepared to leave, Lily insisted on giving Serena a hug, wrapping her small arms around Serena's neck with fierce affection. "You're not sad anymore," Lily observed. Sparkle's magic worked. "It absolutely did," Serena agreed, looking at Adrian over his daughter's head. Over the following months, coffee dates turned into dinners, which turned into weekend outings with Lily, which turned into a relationship that felt more real and honest than anything Serena had experienced before her accident. Adrian never treated her wheelchair as something to overcome or work around. He simply accepted it as part of who she was, asking practical questions about accessibility, but never making her disability the focus of their relationship. "You're different from the other women Daddy dates," Lily announced one afternoon while they colored together. "You're nice all the time, not just when Daddy's watching." "What do you mean?" Serena asked gently. The other ladies smiled a lot when Daddy was there, but when it was just me and them, they looked annoyed, like I was bothering them. "You actually like playing with me, I can tell." Serena's heart ached for this perceptive child who'd learned too young to read adult insincerity. "I do like playing with you, very much. You're smart and funny and kind, just like your daddy taught you to be." "Are you going to be my new mommy?" Lily asked with the bluntness only children possess. "I don't know, sweetheart. That's up to your daddy and me to figure out." "I hope you are. I asked the universe for a mommy who would really love me, and then I found you sitting sad at the cafe. Maybe the universe sent you for both of us." When Serena told Adrian about this conversation later, he was quiet for a long moment. They were sitting on his couch, Lily asleep upstairs, having just watched a movie together like the family they were slowly becoming. "Lily's not wrong," Adrian finally said. "I've been looking for someone to share my life with, but everyone I met wanted either my money or a fairy tale that didn't include the reality of raising a toddler. Then Lily ran up to you that day, and I saw how you treated her with genuine kindness even though you were hurting. I saw someone real. I was a mess that day," Serena protested, crying in public over being stood up. "You were human, vulnerable, honest. That man was a fool, Serena. But his loss was my gain, because if he'd shown up, I wouldn't have had an excuse to sit at your table. Lily wouldn't have given you her magic unicorn. We wouldn't be here now." "Are you saying you're glad I got stood up?" "I'm saying I'm grateful for whatever circumstances brought you into our lives." Adrian took her hand gently. "Serena, I love you. Not despite your wheelchair or your past or anything else. I love you because of who you are. Creative, strong, patient with my daughter, honest about your struggles. I love that you don't pretend to be perfect. I love that you make Lily laugh and that you've taught her that kindness matters more than appearances. I love you completely exactly as you are." Serena felt tears stream down her face, but this time they were happy tears. "I love you too. You and Lily both. You've given me something I didn't think I'd have again. A family. A future that isn't defined by what I lost, but by what I've found." "Then marry me," Adrian said simply. "Marry us. Let Lily's wish come true. Let me spend the rest of my life proving that real love sees the person, not the disability. That the right person doesn't run away, but sits down and stays." The proposal wasn't elaborate or public or Instagram-worthy. It was quiet and honest and perfect. Serena said yes through tears, while Lily's stuffed unicorn Sparkle sat on the bookshelf, having indeed worked her magic that day at the cafe. The wedding was intimate and meaningful. Lily served as flower girl, wearing a dress she'd helped choose and carrying a basket, while Sparkle rode in the basket beside the petals. When asked if anyone objected to the union, Lily stood up solemnly and said, "I object to anyone being mean to my mama ever again," which made everyone laugh and cry simultaneously. In his vows, Adrian spoke directly to Serena. "A foolish man saw your wheelchair and walked away from the most extraordinary woman he'll never know. His loss gave me the greatest gift, the chance to know you, love you, and build a life with you. You've taught Lily that kindness matters more than appearances. You've taught me that strength comes in many forms. And you've shown both of us that family isn't about being perfect, but about showing up exactly as we are and choosing each other every day." Serena's vows were simpler, but no less meaningful. "I was left alone at a cafe, feeling worthless and invisible. Then, a little girl with pigtails and a magic unicorn saw me as someone worth talking to, and her father saw me as someone worth staying for. You both gave me back something I'd lost, the belief that I'm worthy of love exactly as I am. Adrian, you never saw my wheelchair as something to overcome. You just saw me. That's the greatest gift anyone has ever given me." The paralyzed woman who'd been left alone at a cafe had found something far more valuable than a date who showed up. She'd found a family who stayed, a man who saw her worth, and a child who'd recognized her heart before knowing anything else. And the CEO with a little girl had discovered that sometimes the best things in life happen when we stop walking past people who need kindness and instead sit down beside them, stay a while, and let connection happen naturally. Daniel's cruelty had hurt, But it had also created the space for something real to grow. Serena would never wish for that moment of rejection again. But she'd forever be grateful for what came after. A stranger who chose kindness over indifference. A little girl who gave her magic unicorn to a sad woman at a cafe. And the family they built from that moment of unexpected connection. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment below about someone who stayed when others left. Your stories inspire us all.